All right, let's do it live on a Thursday, which is actually a Friday edition for us anyway. Best of tomorrow, kids. Then you need to pay attention to it. Don't kid yourself. Some exclusive content
never before.
in that program, including your conversation with Joel Batonio.
Yeah,
never been heard before.
That's right.
Never before.
Never.
But you have to, this is.
And there it is. This ridiculous 1 o'clock nonsense strikes again. Sometimes they're doing it to us now at the end of the show. Now it's a 1 o'clock thing. They want to silence Beau Bishop. Beau Bishop will not be silenced.
This one might be on us.
It happened again?
I don't think Bishop went away. I thought Bishop was fine. According to this little Comrex, I think it skipped out on us?
End. I don't know.
Am I on?
You're on.
Everything looks good over here.
Now
who's
everybody's
on.
You know what? Maybe we should just call it a weekend right now.
Just
you
walk.
Open the show.
I'll see you on down the road.
Yeah, we'll see you on
Best
Tuesday.
of luck to you.
Have
Next
a great
level's
one,
next.
everybody. Paula
Cleveland
Schrader, your
Browns
host for the next 2
ESPN
hours.
Cleveland.
There we
All
go.
the
There
best.
we go.
Yes.
Wish you all the best.
All the best. Here we go.
Oh, what a time to be alive.
But we're back.
All right. So, yeah, this is a good spot. It's a good spot to be in. I encourage you to, if you're able, to take advantage of today. Take advantage of today.
That's
because
right.
tomorrow looks dreadful. Saturday looks dreadful. I know that you and Gibbe have tea times tomorrow. What is your
Already canceled.
level of – oh, you're out. You're out.
Yep.
I think Gibby's going to play through. You going to play through, Gibby?
It's 100% chance of rain.
I don't care.
I know,
all
but
day.
on dark skies, it's the key is when is it raining?
It's raining a good
all
chunk
day.
of the day. If you
All
look
day.
at the hourly forecast, which if you're a golfer and you don't look at the hourly forecast,
You're not a golfer.
yeah. Like, don't look
You're
at
not a
the
golfer.
day forecast because it changes a lot. But right now, it's like
I'm gonna take it a step further.
90% through like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
I'm going to take it a step further. If you're a human, you should be checking it hourly.
That's right. This is a society.
Yeah, we live in a society. You ought to be checking it. So today could be the day. Today could be the day. If you have an ability, you might not have another good one until Sunday. So drink it up, kids. Today could be the day where you take advantage of those things. And enjoy a little bit of time out until we get to Sunday, where hopefully, fingers crossed, it can be nice here on the holiday weekend. Let's get into the OBM Hot Topics. Ohio Business Machine, preferred copy provider, your Cleveland Browns. For all the X's and O's for your office, call 216-485-2000 or visit ohiobusinessmachines.com. Let me ask you something before we get into that. Have you ever ran into an electrician in a good mood? Gibby has.
I don't think so.
I've never ran into one. They always are annoyed that they're having to be there.
Yeah, they're a little ornery.
Their knowledge, you're beneath them from a knowledge level standpoint. They know that you're completely helpless, and that it's off-putting to them that you're even standing there, even though you own the house. That's typically that's been my experience. Like, it's on their terms. Hey, how you doing? A look of like, yeah, fine, we're here. All right. I may have to remeasure. I'm going, look, I live in the same house. It's the same as the last time.
They know what they're doing, though. They're that's a very talented trade because if
so
they mess
I don't
up
want
your
to
house
besmirch
burns down.
because I don't know.
Yeah, very important.
Man's got to know his limitations.
That's right.
That's why I put up with. That's why you put up with it, because you say.
See, I don't have a pure electrician. My guy does it all.
I've had several.
Mitch, he is a legend, and he does it all.
And he's great.
The best.
Our
He's hard to
great
get because he's so busy, but when you get him, when he's yours, the best.
Yeah.
My guy Mark,
The
he's
competency
spectacular.
level's through the roof on these. Now, what do you got here?
My guy Mark, always in a good mood, always. He'll come in. He's had to come in and help us out like on a Saturday, and been like, "Hey, what's going on? What's going on with the Browns? What's going on with this? What's going on with that?" He's great. I love him. He does fantastic work.
I just want to be abundantly clear. My respect of the trade is beyond reproach. I can't do any of it. Man's got to know his limitations. I do. Man's got to know his limitations. I do. I don't ever try to do anything in that realm. And the people who do it are on a different intellectual wavelength than I am. It just seems like maybe it's me. Maybe they're just annoyed that they have to deal with me. That could be too. I mean, you heard all the rumors about me before we started doing this show
That's
together.
the thing.
That I was the worst.
Yeah, that you put off like a real crud vibe. In fact, I don't even remember the
Real
specifics of the rumors. Do you remember the specifics of the rumors?
Just that I was, the rumors about me
Yeah.
were just that I was a crud, that I was just tremendous ego, entitled, jerk, resting jerk face was said on more than one occasion.
You
Can you imagine
you
going up to Hey, let me tell you about this Bishop guy. He's got a resting jerk face. I mean, this guy's the worst.
entitled? Oh man, boy, I love it.
Oh boy.
Love it. Like,
Oh,
couldn't have been
so
more
rich.
wrong about you.
Hey,
So sad.
no. Hey,
It's
let me
sad
ask
though
you
when
this.
you learn about like this business as Dusty Rhodes would
Yeah.
say, in this business. You learn that people
Yep.
are there's a lot of envy, there's a lot of jealousy that leads to
Facts.
ill words that are not rooted
Ill
in fact,
words.
which is sad. Why can't we all build each other up?
Is Dusty Rhodes the best example of somebody who in the WCW world persona was such an incredible higher level than the WWE persona?
Yeah, so it was NWA for him, but yes, that his NWA persona, yeah, when he is in the polka dots,
Right.
absurd, ridiculous. No, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream,
Absurd.
Dusty Rhodes, that was, going 60 minutes with the Nature Boy. That's a whole different guy. Yes, 100%. There have been a lot of
Vince
people
did
though.
him no favors.
Like Goldberg, they did the same thing to if they don't create you, they don't necessarily like. So Goldberg came in, and sure, you'd say they gave him the title, and they've given him some nice matches and big, Mania matches, etc. But it was never treated the same. The NWO in the WWE was nowhere near what it was in WCW. They just don't like stuff that wasn't their own.
Yeah, it almost seemed like they undercut him when he came in.
Yeah,
'Cause
even
as a
Flair.
little kid, I was like, why is this dude in a? Oh, Flair for sure. I had no appreciation of what Flair was previously because I didn't watch that stuff. My only experience was WWE. So he came in, but it wasn't like I had no idea who Flair was until later in life.
He had the great '92 Rumble where he wins the Rumble, which was the most loaded Rumble ever. But he doesn't even the fact that they never did Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair as the main event of a WrestleMania is insane.
Crazy. That's an incredible missed opportunity right there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that year
Yeah.
they went with Hulk Hogan versus Sid Justice.
Oh, that's right.
Sid Vicious.
Justice, who was Sid Vicious, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And they went with, and then that's when Flair was in the thing with, Macho Man about him having hooked up with Miss Elizabeth, and they had the footage and all the nonsense. But that should have been that WrestleMania. He was only there for that brief period of time. The fact that they never did Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair as the main event of WrestleMania is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. And
In-
you have
in the-
Hogan
in
win.
the-
I get it. Hogan wins because he's the WWF guy. Fine. But you have to have that match. And they did have
Correct.
it, but never at a WrestleMania. I don't even know if they did it on TV. I think it was on like a
Yeah, I
house
can't even
shows.
remember their feud. I don't even
No,
remember
he was
the.
instead that whole
the-
time he's fighting with Sid Justice. He's fighting with the Big Boss Man. I saw him in a cage against the Boss Man at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. He's fighting with Sergeant Slaughter at WrestleMania 7,
Oh, yeah.
representing Iraq.
Right. U.S. Oh, yeah, Sergeant Slaughter representing Iraq. Good grief, Vince. Jeez. Yeah. Hey, did you see, I know that you did, so Gibby asked the question, if you haven't seen this, so Miles Garrett is playing pickup basketball, and I'm to the point, Miles must just document everything, because there's, like, something crazy comes out from his Instagram account every day of something that he did, either working out or playing hoops or whatever, so he must just being documented. Gibby asked, and he dunks on a dude. Now, Gibby asked the question, how bad do you feel for the guy Miles Garrett dunked on in this Instagram video? There's two ways I can go here, Z, and I'm curious where your head is on this. One would be, man's got to know his limitations. The way I would have played that is to stop trying at the three-point line. I'm a man, I'm 40. I'm not contesting shots. I'm not taking charges. I'm not fighting for rebounds. Like, I'm shooting threes, and I'll put a hand up on a three. That's the extent of it at this point. It's hard to tell how old this guy was. Probably maybe a decade, 15 years younger. But man's got to know his limitations. So you see Miles Garrett coming at you. Boy, maybe bail on that.
Okay.
It's pick up hoops. The second option is quite a bit of respect for hanging in there. Like, I don't view it as like a shameful thing to be dunked on by Miles Garrett.
Couple of things. Number one, incredible when you see how easy this is, it's incredible. The behind the
him to
back,
dunk.
and then he's just all of a sudden he's off the ground. He's dunking easy. And he's not, while he is a giant human, what is he, 6'5"?
Yeah, he's not 6'9".
Right. But
Right.
he almost dunks where it looks like he's barely jumping, and he's dunking anyway, which is crazy. But just the explosiveness of the gather and the dunk is awesome. This is what I think. That guy, where's his downside? That guy is supposed to get dunked on by Myles Garrett.
Valid.
That's the expectation. You watch the beginning of the video. Somebody says this guy's going to go down there and he's gonna contest this or be in the way. Your immediate reaction is, oh, he's getting posterized, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
And it's a rather aggressive posterization that ends with him on the ground up against the stanchion, which I love that word, against the stanchion.
Even Myles leering over.
Of course, a little Lero.
Kind of like, you like that?
What'd you expect? However, this guy, in his mind, I'm sure, this would have been my mindset too. I have no shame if somebody's like, oh, yeah, you got dunked on by Myles Garrett. Yes, so what?
So?
But if I had somehow clipped that ball on the way up, or I'd somehow gotten it and caused a miss, anything,
Yeah.
blocked it even,
Yeah.
I'm a hero. This I tell my grandkids about this.
Yeah.
No downside,
Listen.
only upside to try to contest that.
You are Teddy Roosevelt. You're the man in the arena. Give me a shot.
That's right.
Be the man in
Speak
the arena.
softly,
That's right.
carry a
Glass
big
is
stick.
half full. Gulp it. That's
Let's
right.
go.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I don't – and plus this guy probably gets to eat lunch on this for 6 months. I mean, this is going to be a great story for 6 months.
Totally.
I mean, a lull in a conversation. Hey, did I ever tell you about the time Myles Garrett dunked on you? Dunked on me?
Oh,
Wait,
you want to watch
what,
the
Bill?
video? Take a look.
Oh, yeah. You haven't seen it? Here, I'll pull it up. You haven't seen it? It went viral. You didn't see it? Oh, 7 million hits. You didn't see this? Oh, yeah, he dunked on me.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So here's how that game went before that, and here's what you don't know. That's 20 minutes at lunch.
Totally. That's my buddy Beatbox's
Come on.
theory. You get one good story, you work the room with it. You can take it all around the room. He's got that at a party. He could go all around. Take that. Go ahead. Do the
Now,
loop.
Have you ever intercepted his story, S-style, in the midst of him making the rounds? Told his story. Have you ever taken his story out from under him in the midst of making? Because that would be one of the all-time story steals.
Yeah, no, I like that. I am going to do that now because I like that
like
so
just
much.
hang with him.
Yeah. But
Hang
normally
with
when
him
we're hanging,
as
we're
he
just
tells
kind
it
of
the
like,
first time.
if we lived in town together, it'd be much easier, right? Because then we'd be going out to
Yeah.
dinners, and it would be much easier. But I will. No, that's a good. It's obviously a good point.
Write that down.
And I will do that. It's burned into my mind. I will. I mean, what I did
Wouldn't
to
that be
him
fun?
in Naples is all time. And that one, he has taken that story, and everybody loves that story. I was telling that story on Friday night about how I got him with the hostess, and everybody loves it. Everybody loves it.
Yeah. No, that's a win.
Yeah, you can't cough out in public.
That is a win.
And expect no repercussions in at least at this point in early May 2021.
That's right. And in fact, perhaps that could be today's Ohio Lottery Keep It Fun Ohio web poll. Did the guy who got dunked on by Myles Garrett win or lose?
Won. He couldn't lose.
Yeah. I would go with that too. I would go win. I think it's a win. Even in a loss, it's a win. I'm fine with it. I think that might work. You and I were texting back and forth, Gibby as well, on the Koepka fun yesterday. I know that, let's do a quick minute and a half here on PGA Tour Daily. Koepka and DeChambeau going back to forth. I texted you. You sent me the DeChambeau comeback, and I said that's a spoon to a knife fight situation.
Yeah.
DeChambeau versus Koepka. Like it's not going to win. Now you did to your point though. He did have a good one on. Was it on Brady? He had a good one on.
Yep.
Do you think he got help?
I'm sure somebody came to hit. Perhaps they
Like
came
an
to say-
advisor?
Yeah, it does.
Bryson, hit him with this.
Listen, we all have boys. If we're in the public if we're that public, that famous, you got to have a boy that's like, oh, dude, hit him with this.
Yeah, I think you probably would. I think you would. I think you'd want to have
people
that.
Who are it.
Have
I
a
said
little
that
help.
golf right now, with Phil winning and everything that just happened yesterday, golf is as newsworthy, as buzzworthy, and as popular and as much in the spotlight as it could possibly be without Tiger Woods. This is a perfect storm for them. Phil wins, and now you have trash talk going on. You have a feud going on with Brooks and Bryson.
Yep.
You've got trash talk involving Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady and golf.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's a real win for them.
Yeah, I agree. That's a pretty good job. Today is a holiday weekend mailbag edition of the program, so we'll do a little Ask CBD. So you can ask us anything. Your questions at Browns Well, that won't get us kicked off the air. At Browns_daily or fired. Use the hashtag AskCBD, and we will answer those questions. That is coming up in the 2:30 hour of the program. At 2 o'clock, we will unveil our power rankings, numbers 4 through 1, as we will do just 4 teams today on the power rankings breakdown, and so that you have that to look forward to, which is very, very nice. Along the way, you'll hear this one I'm looking forward to. Ben Baskin is the host of the Lost in Sports podcast. He did a podcast on the Browns' Masters of the Gridiron video,
which is incredible.
So I'd never seen this thing until 30 minutes ago. I'd never seen it. No point of reference. Gibby sends me the link. I don't even know where to begin with this thing. So I have a million questions, and I look forward to this interview coming up here in about 20-some minutes from now. Coming up next, I look forward to this. Grant Delpit, presser from yesterday. You'll hear it in its entirety. It's coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Well, we've certainly all been cooped up in the house a lot more this past year, but it's finally time to get back outside, grilling on the patio, sitting around that fire. Nice spring evening, maybe even putting your feet up, just enjoying being outside, even taking your laptop out and working from the backyard. Instead of sitting on those beat-up folding chairs, how about a real patio selection? Full furniture that's going to last for years at Northeast Factory Direct. They have it for you. Outdoor sectionals, dining sets, fire pits, loungers. You get everything you need for a whole lot less than you'd pay at the other places. Each of their 3 stores in Cleveland, Euclid, and Macedonia is stocked for the best possible deals on outdoor furniture. Stop in to check it out for yourself. You won't be disappointed in the quality or the selection. Or, of course, you can shop it online anytime at northeastfactorydirect.com. The Double Deuce, Grant Delpit with the media availability yesterday. His first one where he was open with reporters since the injury. This one was good. There's a lot to this. We want to play it for you now. Let's have a listen.
Hey, Grant.
You guys are down.
The Achilles feels and where you're at in your recovery right now.
Oh, it feels good, man. Better every day. It's a long process, long journey to, get fully back healthy. But, the plan is to be fully healthy by training camp. So I'm on track for that.
Grant, can you just, I've seen you sprinting backwards, full speed, reversing field, cutting, and all that kind of stuff. This seems like a pretty remarkable recovery from a really serious injury. Can you just take us through emotionally and physically what you've had to do to get to this point?
Yeah, like I said, it's been a lot. This injury is like nothing I've had before. I never thought about my Achilles and, what it really is used for until I heard it. It's just an eye-opening experience for me. But I've done a lot to come back and rehab and just be where I'm at right now. Like you said, I'm doing sprinting, cutting, all that, and really just trying to, on the back end of my rehab now, just trying to get rid of that annoying pain. It's coming along, and I should be, ready by training camp. It's a crazy injury. It's crazy how it happened. I'm glad that it happened while I'm young, so I could, still have my, have my whole career ahead of me.
Hey, Grant, can you kind of walk us through how you've approached this comeback from the mental side of it?
Yeah, I feel like I keep my mind very positive at all times. With that being said, I just, try to focus on the positives and, not be stuck in the negative. What happened to me, I always focus on how to get better and what's next. So, when you, focus on negative things, I try to get down. I could have easily been depressed and all that, but, I stay positive.
Is there anybody specific in your life who's helped you, during this past year?
Yeah, sorry about that. A lot of people have helped me. Old trainers, coaches, family, of course, staying in my ear, especially, with the Brown staff, always hit me up, checking on me. So that, it's great to have a great support system when you go through an injury like that.
I know you said you try to keep a positive attitude throughout the whole time, but when you're not playing at all as a rookie, what were the most difficult moments during that?
Some of the most difficult moments was just seeing our success and how, I wasn't playing and this is that. But at the same time, that's a great feeling. You want to see the guys that you've been working with the whole year succeed. And, of course, the team succeeds. So, it was good and a bad feeling. At the same time, I want to be a part of it. But at the same time, we were winning. So, hopefully I can be a part of it this year.
Do you feel like you were able to learn enough that you're not necessarily still a rookie going into year 2?
Yeah, I don't consider myself a rookie anymore. Definitely a year 2 player. And I got to sit back and, really study a lot of film and see what happens behind the scenes also. Watch the game from a fan's perspective, which I haven't been able to do my whole career. So that was cool to do. So definitely, I don't consider myself a rookie.
Hey, Grant, when you got drafted, a lot of Browns fans were super excited that you fell to the Browns where you did. The injury happens. And I got to tell you, I feel like fans are just as excited to see you on the field. What are your expectations for this season? It seems like a lot of people have pretty high expectations of how well you can play. What expectations do you place on yourself?
Yeah, I have high expectations for myself. We have high expectations as a team, first of all. So, we have to prove that to ourselves. And me, I know what I can do. So just putting myself in the best position by knowing all positions and knowing the defense as well as I can, because the coaches are going to do the same. So that's all I can do. I'm ready to give the fans what they want and hopefully get on the field.
Yeah, Grant, did you know when you were hurt immediately what had happened?
Yeah, I think so. Not immediately, probably. I thought I ran into somebody behind me. I thought it was like a golf cart or something. It hurt so bad. So, like Jacob Phillips was doing like he was walking by. And I was like, "That was you?" He's like, "No." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I know." Like, I kind of know what it is now. There's only one pain in that area. So it sucked, but I picked up quickly on what it was.
And was there a point in your rehab when you realized that, like, you did something that you felt like back to your old self? You know what I mean? Like, you did some kind of drill or something when you thought, okay, I'm good, I got this now.
Yeah, I was in Florida and I was running like 18 miles per hour on the treadmill. That's when I was like, okay, like, I'm feeling like myself again. Let's do it. So at that moment, that was a good moment for me. And now it's just working the kinks out and, getting back in cleats and doing all that stuff.
And how long ago was that Florida thing?
That was maybe March. Yeah, late March.
Hey, Grant, good to see you. You talked about how you're going into this year not feeling like you're a second-year player and obviously watching as much as you did last year. So when you look at Joe Wood's defense, how do you fit into it? And then also playing next to John Johnson, who they brought in this offseason.
Yeah, we're installing the whole defense right now, installing everything. So like I said, all of us learning all positions, that's a good thing that we can do. Like you said, learn from guys like John and Ronnie, playing alongside them. It's going to be great. We all playmakers. You know what John can do, Ronnie can do, and it's time for me to see what I can do. So hopefully we can all pitch in and do our part to win, and so that's the plan.
You were asked about the fans' excitement. Can you sense the excitement from your teammates to have you on the field? Are you, or are they chomping at the bit to get you out of there?
Yeah, I'm sure, we'll see when we get there. And, whenever we do, when we get together. So it's kind of hard over Zoom and stuff like that. But, of course, I want to see everybody win. That's something we have as a good team.
Hey, Grant, along the lines of excitement, what was it like for you to watch, the successful season the Browns had in 2020, and then now an off season where Andrew Berry's really added a lot of pieces to the defense? What are you thinking along those lines in terms of the trajectory of the team?
I'm thinking, everything we do is to win. So like I said, AB and the coaches put all the right pieces together. When they put them in play, we just got to put them together. So that's on the players now. And this is what training camp's going to be for OTAs. Just put the pieces together so we put ourselves in the best position, man. So, we got the pieces. It's just time to work.
Yeah, Grant, just wondering, can you talk a little bit about coming back with Greedy, and what did you guys go through together to, kind of rehab and keep your spirits up together throughout that difficult year? Does it make it all the more sweet for you that you guys are going to come back together and then maybe also add in Odell too? So just kind of like a bunch of LSU Tigers descending back on the football team.
Yeah, it was definitely tough for both of us. It was cool to, be able to, I guess, rehab together. But, you never want to be in that position. But, just keep each other, positive minds, keep pushing each other, get better every day. He went through some hard, crazy stuff, just as I did. Same with O. I know O's going to come back great. Hopefully we can all stay healthy, man. This guy's playing.
Grant, I think it's really reinforced this offseason how much Joe Woods wants playmaking safeties, right, when they go out and sign John Johnson III. Did he tell you how much he missed you last year? Because it felt like he was really relying on you.
Well, yeah, I guess. I know they drafted me for a reason. So, that wasn't a plan for me to be out a year. But, it's got to go on. Somebody else is going to step up. And, that's what it was. So hopefully this year don't happen. Get back in the field, stay healthy.
When you look at this scheme,
30.
do you see how valuable safeties are in it and what kind of a big role you can have?
Yeah. Safeties is probably, one of the biggest role in any defense. So just having a defense like we do that we could, rotate 3, 2, or whatever, in a nickel, anything. It's going to be great for us to have versatility, show different looks, all that.
5 seconds.
Woods got it in place. So now I'm excited to get on the field.
You're up.
Good stuff there from 22, Mr. Grant Delpit. There are a couple of things on this. Hearing him talk again, I immediately am transported back to his time, the brief time we had with him in camp.
Yep.
And just what an impression he made in such a short time. But he just looked different. He just looked different. And just the despair of seeing him go down and going, come on, really? Like, you're brought back to all of that, aren't you?
Yeah, and how devastating that day was, and it turned out to be a day where not just Grant, but also Greedy goes down, and yeah, you're excited about it. He sounds so calm and mature, and like sometimes these guys, and he battled through an ankle injury in college, but when you're as well-regarded as he was and you get given number 7 at LSU, when you win all the awards that he won, you've never had it taken away. It's just assumed I'm going to continue to be awesome. And it's just taken away from him. And I think that's a really hard thing for Grant to deal with. And I think he and Greedy were both very lucky to have each other on this journey together. And I think that Grant really sounds, like I said, mature, humble, and eager. I think he wants to prove.
Yeah.
I really think you could say the Browns in the last 2 drafts got easy first rounders in the second round for whatever reasons.
Agree.
In JOK and Grant Delpit, and I think Grant wants to really prove that. I mean, this is a defense that is tailor-made for him to be a stud. It really is, and I think he's going to be.
You and I know you've done this too, and I've talked to guys who have, been lost for a season early in camp, whether it's the college level or the professional level, and it's an incredibly lonely thing because you are off alone a lot. You're isolated a lot. You can't travel in many instances. You're not part of the regular team, activities or anything like that, let alone the practices, the jocularity, the training, the lifting, all of it. Everything that comes with building a team, you're kind of on the outside looking in. And I remember when we would talk, I remember specifically in the bye week talking to Coach or maybe even AB about, how's Grant doing? And I know that our organization put a lot of effort into trying to make sure that he knew that he was beloved and a part of it and all of it. But even with the best of intentions, it's still a lonely process. It's exacerbated a year ago by the fact that we're dealing with a pandemic where you couldn't see anybody anyway. So it had to be an incredibly quiet, tough year.
Yeah.
It's tough enough anyway, but it had to be made worse by everything else you were dealing with a year ago.
There's no doubt that was probably the toughest environment that you could go through that kind of a big injury in, because you've got to be very careful about who you're with, and it's not like you can have a huge support network and people fly in from out of town to be with you. And you make very, very great points, and I'm just happy for him that is now in the rearview mirror and that he has the chance to do what he feels that he was drafted to do and be an impact player on the back end of this defense. And, I mean, you think about Grant and JJ3 and Ronnie Harrison. I mean, is our safety room on with potential? We haven't seen Grant, but I know what I think he's going to be. I know what you think he's going to be.
Yes. Yep.
That sounds as good a trio as is in the league.
Yeah, I think it is. And the thing that's really cool about it, and we had Joe Woods on about this, and I was talking about actually last night with a buddy of mine. I said, you got to think about it from this perspective. And you've astutely brought this up before on the show. The only thing you can do as a defense is disguise. That's it. Everything else has been legislated out. So all you can do is trick the quarterback pre-snap. That's really it. And then post-snap right away, immediately post-snap is confuse them. if you are a quarterback and you're under center, you're in the gun, and we're in a situation where you have all three of them on the field at once, and you're talking about 43, 33, and 22, and they're all pretty similar body type.
Yep.
And they're all pretty similar in terms of what they can do. They can all cover the slot. They're all elite blitzers. They can all cover. They can all play center field. Certainly some are a little better than others, but it's negligible. That is as big a weapon as you can have. And honestly, Z, I don't know if it's ever been deployed the way that it potentially could be deployed here in the league, where you have this three guys, this athletic, this skilled, who all look the same, who are all kind of interchangeable. It's rare. I don't know if it's happened.
It is rare, and as Matt Bowen told us, all you have left is with the good quarterbacks, they're going to know pre-snap. You need to make them take a pause post-snap, and we have the ability with those three safeties to post-snap switch and, have the one that looks like they're down, play the deep middle, the other one come down and be a robber, somebody blitz out. You have a lot of options for post-snap movement to create that type of confusion, and I think that's what you hope to have here. And confusion like that, when you have Tack McKinley and Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett, that leads to sacks, and that leads to sack strip fumbles and big hits, and that's what the Browns are going to try to do. And to have,
add JOK in it.
Add JOK
because he can do a lot of that same stuff too.
And on the outside, he's
great at
Greg
covering the
Newsome,
slot.
Denzel Ward, Greedy, who I think people are sleeping on, Greedy Williams, Troy Hill.
Yeah.
We have so many things that we're going to be able to do as a defense that are going to be exciting. Chris Kiffin, we talked to him yesterday. If you didn't hear that, check it out. You can hear the smile in his voice when he's talking about what's going on up front and what's going to happen here in this defense. He couldn't be more thrilled. Couldn't be more thrilled.
Yeah. It's fun. It's going to be a really fun defense to watch this year, to see how the way that Joe Woods is going to be able to attack. And I think you'll find that he coordinated last year with a hand tied behind his back, and now both hands are going to be able to come out and get engaged in the fight.
Certainly.
Coming up next, this blew my mind. I'd never seen this video before. This Masters of the Gridiron thing of the '86 Browns filmed. If you haven't seen it, I mean, you're not going to have time to watch the whole thing between now and when we get back and talk to Ben Baskin, but watch 30 seconds and your mind will be blown. Mine was.
Right.
It's unbelievable. We'll get into it coming up next. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. And be sure to catch the latest edition of the best podcast available out today wherever you get your podcasts by going to youtube.com/Browns. Rookie defensive tackle Tommy Togiai joins the Ibs boys to talk about his first month with the Brown and Orange. And this is a real treat as we welcome in Ben Baskin. He's the host of the Lost in Sports podcast. The podcast explores various sports mysteries and go back in sports history to revisit things lost, disappeared, or forgotten in each episode. Ben, thanks for taking the time. I'm going to be very candid with you. Lost, forgotten, or disappeared. With what we're going to talk about today, I didn't know it existed until 45 minutes ago. Well, more like an hour ago. And I've never seen anything like it in my life, man. Never.
And that's the response that everyone has when they get introduced to Masters of the Gridiron for the first time. It was certainly my response when I stumbled upon it 2 years ago in Cleveland. But as I found, there is a certain generation of Browns fans that this movie is a seminal part of their childhood and their life from the 1986 season. And for me, it was, one of those things that's the fun thing with this podcast, Lost in Sports. It's from Religion of Sports and PRX. And what it is some of these mysteries are things people are going to remember and say whatever happened to it. And some like this one are things that maybe 99% of the world has never heard of and got lost before it ever actually hit the mainstream. And we kind of go on the investigation to find out everything you'll want to know about it.
Okay. And there's a million questions on this. Take me back through how you became aware of it and what you thought when you first saw it.
So it goes back almost 2 years ago to the day. Summer 2019, I was writing for Sports Illustrated. I was a staff writer at SI for years. And I was in Cleveland writing the cover story on the Browns with Odell and Jarvis on the cover. I know it didn't end up, going the way we wanted that season. But I was out there reporting that story, and I was actually right across the street from the stadium at Brokaw and his advertising company, Tim Brokaw's advertising company. And on his wall, there is a framed photograph that he pointed out to me of a football team fighting ninjas in a castle. There's a black bear and all of these barbarian dressed warriors, the Cleveland Browns, climbing a castle, Tiny Tim's at the top of it. And he said, Google it, Masters of the Gridiron, check it out on YouTube. It'll be the craziest thing you'll ever watch. And when I got back home, I looked it up. It's on YouTube. Mike Polk, the comedian, had posted it on YouTube, and I got to watch it, and it was the craziest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And I was so shocked that I didn't know about it, that I had never heard of it, that I needed to know everything about it, how it happened, why it existed, how it was made. And so when I joined Religion of Sports, it's a company owned by Tom Brady and Michael Strahan, Gotham Chopra, we're an audio narrative storytelling unit that we're building. When I got that job and I decided to make this podcast, I knew that exploring Masters of the Gridiron was going to be the first episode.
And it's got so much in it. I mean, they filmed it on 2 Tuesdays, so during the season, which I think is, I can't even believe how crazy that part of it is. But when you watch it, what's the one thing that you talk about on the podcast that sticks out to you more than anything? I mean, the fact that Tiny Tim is in this blows my mind. Blows my mind.
The thing, so you're so right. It was filmed in October, so in the middle of the season. And what, to me, it was, this is a football team, a professional football team, filming that they made themselves a, not feature length, but 20-minute long movie with real sword fighting. Those are real swords, not props. A real bear that Mike Babb wrestles.
Yeah.
And yes, Tiny Tim. And it was such something that was so foreign to be possible in today's NFL. The concept that an NFL team would allow something like this to exist just blew my mind. So I was born in 1990. I never really understood the 80s. All of these kind of campy, extended music videos. The other thing it has is Michael Stanley's band. And I know that was a huge thing in Cleveland at the time. He has a full music montage. And there are so many, every element of it is something that you need to how did this happen? How is Tiny Tim in this? How is there a bear here? How are they sword fighting with ninjas? Everything begets another question.
It's a stunning thing, and the names that the guys have are amazing. And I know we get to talk with Hanford Dixon and Bob Golick from time, the Golican or Dixonis, and all the names that they have for each other, which are amazing. But one thing I never knew about this, and I don't know if you guys talked about this on the pod, was that so Bab's wife struck a deal that if the Browns had actually beaten the Broncos in that game and won the AFC, she had $250,000 signing bonus, and they were going to get this was going to be mass distributed. This would have been a piece of American culture had the Browns won the AFC. $250,000 signing bonus. That's a lot of money back then, and 10% of national and international distribution if they beat the Denver Broncos, which I think adds a whole other layer to this.
You hit it right on the head, because not to give away so in our podcast, I talk with all these people. I talk with Mike and Lolis Babb. I talk with Mike Polk. Obviously not Tiny Tim, but the team, and we kind of trace how this movie came to be. Where the idea came from. Mike the Barbarian was his nickname, and that was sort of the genesis of this whole thing. But what it was the profound sort of realization is the reason that I and pretty much no one outside of a small subset of Cleveland had ever seen this movie is because of John Elway and the drive and the 98 yards that he, put his stake in the heart of Cleveland. And the incredible thing is Mike Babb didn't know about this distribution deal. He didn't know Lolis had struck it before the game. So after the game, they get in the car together and they're sitting there, and they're devastated about the loss. But then Lolis breaks the news that if they had won, they would have, Masters of the Gridiron would have been seen everywhere. And Mike, the Barbarian, proceeds to punch his windshield out, just shatters the entire windshield of his car, sitting in the Browns parking lot of Municipal Stadium.
It would have been,
and that's why no one saw it.
Right, it would have been, if you think about just the inanity of it, and I don't know if you've been to Cleveland, Ben, and gone to Squires Castle. You can go to that. It's right down off of Chagrin River Road. You can take it down and go to this where you filmed it, and you can see obviously where they shot a lot of this at that Squires Castle. But Super Bowl Shuffle. I wasn't a Bears fan growing up. I know you were, Bo, but everybody knew the Super Bowl Shuffle. It was.
Oh yeah. It was on MTV.
You could sing it. Everybody could sing the songs, right? Mm-hmm. We didn't come here looking for no trouble. That would have been this. That would have been the biggest thing to happen to Cleveland. It would have been Major League before Major League, but around the Browns and the NFL, it would have been incredible. And it's curses John Elway.
And that's where it all starts. Is that in '85 the Bears do the Super Bowl Shuffle. Not only do they win the Super Bowl, but which I didn't realize is that the song itself got nominated for a Grammy. So they win the Super Bowl. They record the song that prophesies that they're going to win the Super Bowl. They then win the Super Bowl. The song is beloved. It's everywhere. So the next year, when the Browns feel like '86 is going to be their year, they want to do something of this is the era where all teams were doing songs. You had everyone wanted to copy the Super Bowl Shuffle, but Mike Babb and Lolis, to their credit, they didn't want to do the same thing. They didn't want to sing. Mike Babb thought that they looked like idiots singing in the music video, and he wanted to be an actor. He wanted to act. He wanted the world to see him, as he saw himself as Mike the Barbarian. And so this movie was the creation of that. Was this idea of, hey, what can we do to show that we feel like this is going to be our year? And what they decided was to film a movie where they fought a bunch of ninjas in a castle and wrestled a bear. And Tiny Tim, was Tiny Tim.
There's so much to this. And by the way, folks, if you think we're kidding about everybody doing music videos, Google Just Ram It. Because the Rams did this. The Florida State football team did this going into, I think, the 88 season.
The Seahawk waves
on
a roll.
Yeah.
There was a bunch
Eric
of them,
Dickerson going Just Ram It with the Jerry curl is a thing of beauty. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
All right. So this thing gets done. Now, I think you have to, for the kids out there, and Ben, with all due respect, you broke my heart when you say you're born in 1990. But for the kids out there, from some perspective, this is coming off of a pretty high time for this type of nonsense. This is Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Destroyer. I got to think Willow comes around about this time. So this was constantly in pop culture, was this barbarian crusade feel films. These were big hits at this time, and obviously that was an inspiration for Mike Babb. In Europe, and I don't want to step on the podcast, but was anybody like, are we sure this is a good idea? Did anybody push back?
Well, I will say Bernie Kosar does not appear in the movie, but it was not as a result of that. It was purely a scheduling issue. I actually talked with Bernie. He told me why he wasn't able to be in Masters. It was widely assumed at the time that Bernie was the guy who said, I'm not doing this, but he just wasn't available. But you are right. It was Mike was a Conan the Barbarian, just crazy about it.
Yeah.
His hairdresser at the University of Texas had given him a comic book, and he became sort of like just turned himself into the character. He always wanted to be Conan the Barbarian, so he decided that's like, what he would become. It's everyone, and I think it actually, what's really poignant, I think, with the podcast, and I think everyone in Cleveland especially will appreciate it, is that what I didn't realize is that that time period in 1986 for that town and the city and the team, both on the football field, but also there's just a sense of what Cleveland itself was going through from everything that was going on in the 60s and 70s with the steel factories that closed, and Cleveland sort of fell on some hard times, and the Browns were sort of this rallying point for the city, and then this team comes around and kind of galvanizes the whole city. This movie sort of encapsulates that, because as Mike and Lalise will say, no one had a second thought about it. It was, hey, the Cleveland Browns want to do this. What can I do to help? Do you need a video camera? Do you need food? Do you need trailers? Do you need costuming? Everything was donated. Everything was, for charity. And it was all kind of revolving around this idea that in 1986 in Cleveland, it was just this special time to be there. And from all accounts, it seems like the time that Browns fans just remember so fondly.
Yes, Ben, in this town today, the guys that were on those teams of that era are deities in this town. I say it all the time. I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area. Joe Montana, 49ers, 4 Super Bowls in that decade that I grew up. I was born in 1978. Bernie Kosar is a bigger deal in Cleveland by a major factor, than Joe Montana is in San Francisco and in the Bay Area. It's just that's how much these guys are beloved. And I know Brian Brennan was one of the guys who didn't do it and has great regrets to this day that he did not partake in Masters of the Gridiron. And Beau, to your point when we were talking about Babb and how much he loved Conan and the Barbarian and all of that stuff, he competes in Scottish Highland competitions and he's a 3-time world champion. Like, he lives it. He has taken this and living it. He's like, this is what he wanted to do. He wanted to act it out, and he got to do it. What I want to ask you, though, Ben, about your podcast, you have the Russo brothers on, who directed, all of the great Marvel movies, huge hits in my family's house, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, Civil War, and then Avengers, Infinity War, and, of course, the great Avengers Endgame. What was their kind of perspective? Did they cite Masters of the Gridiron as their inspiration to get into filmmaking?
So I love that question, because anyone who knows me, I am just a Marvel aficionado. I love Avengers, and I love the Russo brothers, not just their Marvel stuff. The Russo brothers are just fantastic in everything, from Community to, everything they've done. So I sort of took a shot in the dark and thought, hey, Cleveland Browns fans, filmmakers, either they know about Masters of the Gridiron or they want to know about Masters of the Gridiron. And it turned out that they had never seen it before, but I got to watch it with them. So the podcast actually begins with the scene of me showing the Russo brothers this movie for the first time and getting their, in the moment reaction. And I, not to give anything away, they were blown away, like everyone is, about this movie and, what the Browns pulled off and how just incredible. They saw it from like the side of like how much it takes to make a movie. So like they were impressed with the production value of just like being able to pull this off with a football team But I asked them, this or the Super Bowl Shuffle to get their response. Kind of the biggest question of all. And that was a real treat for me just to be able to introduce this movie to the Russo brothers for the first time.
Ben,
Wow.
this is awesome. I know our fans are going to go check it out. I'm going to download it and subscribe as soon as we're done here in the show. Really looking forward to this. It is the Lost in Sports podcast. He's the host, Ben Baskin. Episode 1. It's unbelievable, folks. If you're one of the kids out there, Masters of the Gridiron, watch it and then have a listen to Ben's podcast. Ben, thank you so much for taking the time today, bud.
Yes, it was great.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it so much. Lost in Sports. It's available wherever you get your podcast. More episodes coming soon too.
Hold up. Can you tell us what else?
Awesome.
What else you're unearthing?
I can actually, because there's a little bit of a tease at the end. A little bit of a tease at the end of each episode that tells you what the next one is. But they've all actually, except for one that we're holding secret, but the rest have been announced. So our next episode is on the And One mixtapes of Street Ball. If you remember that from the 90s.
I had some of those. I own some.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I grew up on those. That was my childhood, and I always wondered, how did And One, sort of this tiny shoe company, turn street ball into a global phenomenon? They were all over the world, and then one day it just sort of all disappeared. Just gone, everything gone.
Yeah.
And that's what the next one is kind of piecing together how that all happened, what happened there. So that's next week, and then 4 more after that.
Awesome.
Wow.
Great stuff, Ben.
Yeah.
Thanks for the time, man. We'll look into it. Can't wait to listen.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it.
Oh, that's great. That's fascinating. Yeah, I don't even know what happened. That's a great And One. I don't know what happened.
I don't know where
Marbury
it went,
wore
but I
those
used
shoes,
to
I
love to
remember.
watch those. And I'll tell you what, I used
Well,
to,
yeah, and the shoes. My brother had the shoes. He had
I
the
did.
And One shoes.
They
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
a shoe that was called And One Post Game 2 Chillin', which was like a slip-on kind of like post game moccasin sneaker. I loved those shoes. And then Rex, towards the end of his career, wore And Ones. He had the ones, the famous ones. It's like one side is the color and then the other side's white.
Of course.
And he would wear the white and the navy.
Yeah.
And I still have a pair of those. Oh yeah.
Yeah, my
Great.
brother had them. You could get them at East Bay. You could get any color
East
you
Bay.
wanted.
Yep, exactly.
So that's how that worked. All
Yeah,
right,
it's
coming up
catalog
next, we continue in the culmination of our Cleveland Browns Daily Power Rankings. Where do Z and I have the Browns? That is coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, second hour here, Cleveland Browns Daily. Beau Bishop for my friends at Weather Seal Home Services. Are you having problems with your roof? Call Weather Seal Home Services now and get a beautiful new roof in just 1 week. $1 down, free gutters during the Weather Seal roofing sale. Weather Seal, you also get up to 7 years, 0 interest with approved credit, reducing your monthly payment. Trust in Weather Seal to do the job right. The best price, the lowest monthly payments. It's as simple as that. Don't call anyone else. Call them at 877-351-SEAL or go to weathersealhomeservices.com. This is it. 1 through 4. Power rankings. We've done them all week long. And here we are. We know that there will be one difference if you followed along all week. See, you always do such a great job of recapping. Why don't you go ahead and do that again, my friend?
All right. So because we went 10-8, 10-4, which is, we now know the Gibbe, the proper way to break up 32 items in 4 days. Our last 10, don't shake your head at me, Gibbe. Last 10 were, I had at 14, LA Chargers. You had Tennessee. 13, I had New Orleans. You had the Dallas Cowboys. 12, I had Miami. You had the Chargers. 11, I had Indy. You had Arizona. 10, I had Arizona. You had Indy. 9, I had Seattle. You had San Francisco. 8, we both had Baltimore. 7, I had the Rams. You had Seattle. 6, I had the Niners. You had the Rams. 5, I had Green Bay. You have Buffalo. And which brings us to 4, where I have Buffalo, and I'm guessing you have Green Bay.
I do not. I have us at 4.
Oh, come on.
I have us at 4 on the list. Yeah.
That's
I have
a
us
flawed
as the number
team.
2. I have us as the number 2
That defense
AFC team behind only Kansas City.
Same.
I have us ahead of every other AFC team, including the Bills. I have, and I understand that this is a tremendous. The team that I have ahead of us is Green Bay. I'm sure we'll have the same.
Other than Green Bay,
the team I have ahead of us is Green Bay, because of what they've done the last 2 years. They've been in the NFC Championship the last 2 years. They were 14-2. They have the MVP of the league.
Other than that, where are they better than the Browns?
They've done it.
Other than Aaron Rodgers, what do they have that's better than the Browns?
That's a pretty big, what do they have? And I don't think you can just say, in this league you have to earn that spot, and we're close. And I think we have as complete a roster as any, but we have to go and prove it. We got to go do it. You got to go win a division.
Dude.
We haven't won a division. We have to do those things, dude. The idea that that somehow this is besmirching us as the 4th best team in football, it is not. We are the 2nd best team.
This is what I heard about you.
We are the most complete team in the AFC. It's just a matter of the 3 people I have ahead of us have all won MVPs at quarterback, and this is a quarterback-driven league, and I believe in 6. But those 3 guys have all won MVPs. And that's the only reason.
Last time Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl was like Charles Woodson was playing.
When's the last time we won a Super Bowl?
Irrelevant.
If you want to bring it past Super Bowls.
Just saying. They've had Aaron Rodgers all that time, and they haven't done anything. We're the best we've ever been.
They've been in the NFC Championship the last 2 years.
We're the best.
They got a lot of
around.
Right now he's there.
Green Bay's not
right now he's there.
Keep us down.
If he gets traded, they go to 20. But right now he's there. They may go even lower if he's not there. But right now he is. And he was extraordinary a year ago. And they weren't that far off, even with the bad start from getting to the NFL, to getting to the Super Bowl a year ago. So I have them at 3 and I have us at 4.
Okay. To each his own. I have the Browns at 3. That's right. There's only 3 spots on a podium, baby. There aren't 4. Now, there's 4 on Mount Rushmore, so I guess you're still saying the Browns are on the Mount Rushmore of the 2021 season. So we'll let that go. I just feel like
Teddy Roosevelt.
I thought you would thrive on enthusiasm, and you're so negative.
I feel like I'm really thriving on enthusiasm. I feel like you're trying to paint this as a negative.
It's hard
that I have us as the Teddy Roosevelt of Mount Rushmore.
Oh yeah, like
Teddy
the year
Roosevelt,
when I was like,
the only thing,
we're gonna go 11
and
5.
What is the
and
only
you're
problem?
Where's your
What's the only problem with Teddy Roosevelt? What's the only thing missing in Teddy Roosevelt's resume as one of the all-time great presidents? He didn't have to fight a war. We haven't fought a war yet.
He speaks softly. He carries a big stick.
It's the only hole in our resume. We have everything that we need. We are perfectly built. I wouldn't trade anybody. I love what we got. We just have to go do it. That's why we're the Teddy Roosevelt of Mount Rushmore.
You know what?
We got to do it. The other 3 have all done it.
You know what? I've seen a lot of people like this. They buy declining assets because they were good. Yesterday's news. That's yesterday's news. Green Bay Packers are in shambles. They're in shambles.
They are right now.
Shambles.
He's still there.
Oh, yeah, we're not in shambles. Oh, no. We're today's news, brother. And I remember a time being chastised for saying we were going to go 11 5, and you were like, we're 13-3. You are a negative guy.
Well, by the way,
you're a bozo.
If you have us as the number 3, how the heck are we going 11-5?
We're not with the 17-game season. I said this was in years past. In years past, when we did a preseason projection, and you had us at 13-3, and I was like 11-5, and you're like, you're so negative. You're the worst.
You're so negative. It was incredible.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe you did
and
that.
And now look.
It's interesting because when we did the schedule game, I think I had us 13-4.
Yeah, and I was at 14-3. No big deal, son.
No.
Get a little excited, would you?
You were not.
Get a little excited.
You lacked enthusiasm.
Gibbe, can you believe this?
Isn't it cool? Isn't it pretty amazing that this is where we are?
It is fun. But all I'm saying is, like, nobody is writing memes. If Baker Mayfield were playing with Bryson DeChambeau, Tom Brady's not making memes about, like, Kevin Stefanski not trusting him and kicking field goals. Advantage us.
What would Vegas have us as the line if we played the Packers right now?
In the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Browns -12.
There you're like Ditka, the Ditka guys. Ditka versus Rick Mears. Ditka. Is it mini Ditka? No, it's regular Ditka in an IndyCar versus Rick Mears.
Ditka.
No,
I would say that would probably
Packers went 20, have gone 26-6 the last 2 years.
In a very uninspiring way.
Yeah.
Peter LaFleur.
He can call up some ball plays. It's hard to imagine what they did in the NFC Championship game by not letting him go for it. I think people do have a revisionist history on that. They were down 8.
Yeah, 8. 8's the number. Brady messed
up.
Yeah,
not 7. They needed. Yeah, they needed both. So
they need to go.
All right, you have us at 3.
Yeah, I have us at 3. I'm not afraid. I think this is part of when I go out in society. Everybody's
I didn't have them 11th.
They're diving in. They're diving in the pool. We're not afraid. But I think you've been influenced by the people when you go out in society who are like, don't jinx this. I'm afraid. And I think that's why you're like, I can't put them in the top 3.
Fearful.
Sad. Fearful. Fearful is like 2 letters away from being forful.
Uh-huh.
That's all. And I'm
at
3.
Know what that means forful.
Me neither. 4th. I'm at 3.
You said it.
Yeah. I really wish now.
So, do you have the Bucks one or do you have the Kansas City one?
I have the Bucks one. To be the man, you got to beat the man. And they returned everybody, and they won. Chiefs, too.
Yep.
I wish Gibbe, now that we know that there was this huge division in terms of belief in the Browns between Beau and I, we should have gone to number 4 yesterday, so we just did the top 3 today. And then Beau wouldn't even have talked about the Browns on the final day, which would have been really sad.
That would have been remarkable. If Gibby would have timed it to where it ended at 3, like if we would have got all the way through 4 yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And that's how we ended the show.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow the top 3, and there was no.
I would just be over here with like a trombone, a parade. I believe in the Browns, a Team Browns. You'd be wearing
one
Team
of those guys
Rogers. You'd be wearing relaxed T-shirts.
One of those guys on Mardi Gras with the trombone.
Yeah.
Leading.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Pure joy.
Oh boy. How did we settle on 7 or 9 teams that we could see winning the Super Bowl?
Well, if we're at 7.
I had 7 because I couldn't see Lamar or the 49ers at their quarterback.
But that means
situation.
you see Seattle, and I have Seattle at 9.
Yeah.
And I have the Niners at 6. So I almost feel like
because
why don't we
do
8 and somehow not include the team we have
throw
ranked
the Ravens
8th?
out?
Just throw them out. Because neither one of us has them in the 7. That's the cutoff.
No. There you go. So there you go. Let's go 7.
7 and ties. It's like the Masters.
Out.
Like you have to. The Masters is like the top something in ties. So if somebody's in our top 7 for either of us, they get to be in the Super Bowl discussion. 8. Sorry, even if we both agree, even if you have them higher than one team that I like in the Super Bowl discussion, and and vice versa. Sorry, you're out.
Ravens are out.
Sad.
Ravens are out. To heck with them. They don't need to be in here anyway. All right, there you go. That was fun. Good job out of you, Gibby.
Straight to hell, Minshew.
Straight to hell, Minshew. I sent him to hell a lot.
Oh
last
my
year.
goodness, boy, did you? Now they have Trevor Lawrence. You're probably That's why you kill on JJD.
I
they
do.
love
Yeah.
You did that.
Yeah.
You did that.
I
You were
definitely
negative
did that.
so that they could have
I
Trevor
helped the
Lawrence
people out.
and Tim Tebow.
Yep. I suffered for their wins. That's the way that went.
Yeah.
We'll go around the league. Some interesting news on the Julio Jones front. That's coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. When you're dedicated to bringing the best value to your customers, you've got to do a little bit of work. And Northeast Factory Direct was founded on the principle that quality shouldn't have to cost a ton, and they prove that every day by keeping their overhead low, buying by the truckload, and passing the savings on to you, the customer. So when it comes to mattresses, they've outdone themselves. They searched the entire country to find the best factory with the best warranties. Now they have the latest technology in mattresses for a fraction of the cost. Northeastern Factory Direct has you covered. King, queen, full, twin, bunk bed mattresses, box springs, and more. They got it all. But unlike ordering online, you get to try it out before you buy it. What a novel concept. Check them out, West 140th Street in Cleveland, Lakeland Boulevard in Euclid, or Freeway Drive in Macedonia, or shop them online anytime at northeastfactorydirect.com. Get your questions in to Browns_daily, Ask CBD. That's coming up in about 8 minutes from now. Before we do, though, the Julio Jones trade actually might happen. Diana Rossini saying the Falcons have discussed several trade offers, including an offer for a future first-rounder per source. Sense around the league as a trade could go down as early as next week. We've seen the Tennessee Titans players like outwardly lobbying for him.
Oh, yeah, a lot of recruiting.
A lot of recruiting. I mentioned this yesterday that is a spot that would seem to make a lot of sense, both from a lifestyle standpoint and from what I could be perceived as a contender. I think they're on the outside of contender, but could be perceived that way. I remember we had Joel Corey on, and there weren't that many teams that can actually pull it off from a cap standpoint.
No, there are not a ton of teams that can pull it off from a cap standpoint, and the Titans certainly are one of them. I think the Patriots, they said, were another. It feels like he's going to the AFC. I still can't believe the Falcons covered that on their website like it was news.
That was wild.
That was a stunning thing that basically made me feel like there is no repairing that bridge, and that he is out for sure. Did you see some of the stuff that came out about the mean nicknames that players had for him on the team, including his quarterback?
For Julio?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know even politically. I don't think I can say it on
Well,
the
don't
air.
say. Okay, but you're telling me there are people on the Falcons team who besmirched him?
I think they were just joking with him about his lack of touchdowns, but they had a nickname for him that is not radio safe.
Wow. I would think he would be well beyond reproach. Like, how could you
I'm
say
sure it
anything
was
negative
said in
about him?
jest. I have to find it hard to believe
Sure.
that Matt Ryan does not love Julio Jones.
Yeah. I mean, they're linked
But
forever.
it was a little bit of shade. There's a little shade in that nickname. Well, sometimes, when there's a little truth in a joke, it hurts a little bit more.
Well, yeah, then it's not a joke.
Well, right. Then it's not. You're right. Right. Yes.
It ceases to be a joke if there's truth in it.
Yeah, like if you really did have a resting jerk face, that would have been really hurtful for you. But
That
fortunately,
would have been
you
hurtful.
don't. Yeah.
Luckily not.
No.
Very pleasant.
I think it's a
Usually
resting
with a smile on my face.
A resting
Skipping
pure
into
joy
work.
face. That's what I see.
That's right. That's right. That's good. Adam Vinatieri retired, 48 years old. They had a graphic up. There's like 20 guys who were in his draft class who are already in the Hall. That he
Sounds like
played
a good
with.
draft
48
class.
years old. Pretty good. Around the year he was drafted. 48 years old, NFL's all-time leading scorer. Gibby wants to know if he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I
Yeah.
would say it depends on who else is on the ballot.
He will get in as soon as it's not full of slam dunk position players. If it's all, if you got to go against.
I mean, this
I mean,
year
he
was
should be-
Manning and Woodson and Johnson and Calvin Johnson. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And they're going to. Has anyone ever clarified that yet in terms of, are they doing all of those guys on that Saturday?
I think they're
They're gonna
doing
do two classes.
I think they're doing 2 days. I could be wrong about that. Gibby
Yeah,
might
you'd
know
have
better
to.
than I do, but I think there are 2 days. Gibby doesn't know. Gibby's very busy.
Because Manning will be the last one to go. I mean, on Saturday night he'll be the curtain call. He's the Sinatra, so you'd want him to go last. But I mean, it's a loaded class.
Yeah.
And it's 2 of them back to back. Plus, I think there's the Centennial class.
You are correct, sir.
It's a lot to get through.
It is a lot.
What's a crazy thing about
You
Vinatieri
get a
is
jacket. You get a jacket.
everybody gets a gold jacket. What he's most known for, what I still think of him as, and I was lucky enough to be at one of the Super Bowls that he hit the game winner, was as a Patriot.
Beating the Rams. That's what I think of for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
And the tuck game against the Raiders when he hit it in the snow.
In the snow, yeah, same.
And those are 20-some years ago, and those are with the Patriots. And he played the majority of his career in Indy, which probably prolonged his career playing in a dome.
There was something that I saw too one year at the Pro Bowl, and it was Vinatieri. The guy, why is that guy's name elude me right now? He kicked for the Cardinals and had some crazy seasons where he led the league in field goals, and he was awesome.
Okay.
And then the guy who kicked for the Eagles, I want to say, who was a lefty.
Okay.
Anyway, I can't think of these old kicker names. These guys are fantasy studs. Neil something? Is there a Neil? Was a kicker? I'll figure out the names. Anyway, they were doing
Bob Neal?
No, they were doing these kicking kind of expos. It was back when the Pro Bowl they'd have all those fun games,
competitions.
Yeah, where they would be kicking
before Robert
field
Edwards
goals.
shredded his knee playing beach football.
These guys are just kicking off tees, but they would set it up 50 yards from the uprights, but right down the line from the upright, and then hit curves that would go out. And I mean, they were doing stuff that was just absurd. And I remember thinking, these guys are so ridiculously good, it's crazy.
Well, we just talk about that with Cole all the time.
Yes.
Remember how he kind of viewed punting kind of like a guy hitting a flop shot. Like there's a million different things he could do around the green.
Sure. He had a bunch of
And
different.
in the case of Cole,
He had a
actually
bunch of
drive the
different
green.
balls.
Yeah, do all of those things.
Yeah.
All right. If your game plan for the season includes buying or selling a home, as he is looking up these old kickers, Howard Hanna Real Estate Services has you covered. Visit howardhanna.com/go Browns today. Do you have the names?
Neil Rackers. I knew it was a Neil. There we go. Neil
Rackers.
Rackers.
A Neil Rackers.
Neil Rackers was a stud. He had one year where he made like
Who's
a
your?
billion
Is that the
field goals.
Eagle or the
That
Cardinal?
that was the Cardinal. And then let's see. I feel like John Casey is David Akers. Of course, David Akers. He was a lefty.
Of course, David Akers.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Very good.
There you go.
Ask CBD coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on
Anything.
850 ESPN Cleveland. Memorial Day is almost here, which means it's time to call Perfect Power Wash. Stop neglecting your home. Make it look beautiful again. Protect your biggest investment from the crazy replacement costs with the help of the pros at Perfect Power Wash. Whether it's your siding, roof, driveway, deck, or patio, they are the experts on restoring your home's curb appeal, making your neighbors jealous in the process. Call now to take advantage of the Memorial Day sale. Use the promo code BEAU to get 10% off. Hurry, the promotion does end soon, so call the pros today at 888-860-WASH and refresh your home now. Time for a little segment we like to call Ask CBD. Hello, Gibby.
Welcome to Friday.
Give it.
How
Eye
about
on
it?
the prize. 28 minutes. There's a reason why I'm
Are you
busy.
going to try to play?
I want it all
Are you
sealed
going to try
up.
to play tomorrow? You gonna
Oh, yeah.
try to play tomorrow?
Canceled.
Yeah, the wife for my birthday got me some new rain gear. Come on.
Oh, you're set then.
Yeah. I'm going out. Like, the wife's
What is
working
the-
all day. I'm going to be drinking. It'll be great.
Yep.
Do you have
Give
other
me a
people willing
temperature.
to join you?
Yeah. Drew said he'd go.
Oh, of course he does.
Oh, boy.
Of course he does. Give me a temperature water combination that is untenable. When does it become untenable?
I would say we're going to be pushing it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like anything under
right on it.
50 degrees, I'm out.
What do you do with the
It's
hands?
gonna
How do you keep the
feel-
hands?
You have the rain gloves.
Yeah, I have the rain
They
gloves
make rain gloves?
and the cold weather gloves. There's cold weather and rain gloves. Oh,
Wow. Who makes a rain glove?
FootJoy.
Yeah. All of them. They all make them. And they
Which one
become
makes it?
more tacky. You want your grips wet. You don't dry them. You don't dry the hands. None of it.
Come again? So you don't want your clubs dry?
Not with those gloves. And you want the gloves wet. You can rub the gloves in the wet grass so that and that makes them work better.
Pretty
Wow.
great.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, well.
If they're dry
I'm
and the
not
club's
playing
dry,
golf
you
anyway.
they feel really weird.
Man, if I could play 11 and a half hours in Myrtle Beach, 36 holes, 40 degrees, rain sideways,
Valid.
I can deal with this tomorrow.
Valid.
You
Yep.
can do it, Gibby.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, we're off. We got 4 days. Clear the mind. Get ready.
Get ready.
I don't know what we're getting ready for, but we're getting ready.
I don't either. You
There you
tell me.
go.
What's so exciting next Tuesday?
I don't know.
Something I don't know about?
He's pumped for it.
I got nothing. You come back, you're going to hit the ground running a little bit. It's going to be
Right back into it.
There's a mini camp maybe coming in 2 weeks at that point.
Fantastic. I mean, I think anytime you can have Z and I power rank things, that's a win.
Yeah.
We'll power rank anything you want.
We'll give you some power rankings.
That's what worries me.
Power rank the Marvel Universe in honor of the Russo brothers.
Oh. We could get the
There you
Russo
go.
brothers to join us.
Well, that'd be a treat.
That'd be my kids would be losing their minds.
They're good
Like
gentlemen.
we
that'd be a big
can't
one.
consume enough. They got us. We're watching Agent Carter right now. That's how we've exhausted everything else. And
How's that?
actually good. It's actually really good.
Okay. How is it with? Hey, what was the other one? The Captain America Winter, whatever.
Oh, Winter Soldier and the Falcon. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Really
Yeah.
good. Yeah, really good.
That was good.
Yeah, of course.
Appropriate for all age groups, or
Yes.
click on the fast forward for me.
Unfortunately, turns out Cobra Kai is not. And my kids
Oh, a curveball.
aren't that young, but there is a lot of just aggressive language. And then in the episode we just watched, a billboard was defaced with a rather graphic image. And at that point we said, yep, that's it. Okay. All right. And then
That's
Bryce
enough
is
of
like,
that.
but all my friends have watched it. I'm like, listen, I'm cool with it, but I don't know that everybody's cool with it. And so thus,
There are rules, and you don't want to be in meetings.
no. It's TV
No.
14,
That-
which is the TV version of PG-13 from the movies, but it seems like it casts a fairly wide net.
If I listen to everything that my oldest son Peyton says his friends do, I would be led to believe that his friends are Kenny Powers.
Yeah, and they're probably driving cars.
Yes, that they do whatever they want.
Right.
They jet ski wherever they want.
Sure.
They're derelict in every duty. They do whatever. Just lawless. If I am to believe him. Apparently, none of them have bedtimes. They all have 6 phones.
Yeah.
They play mature video games. They watch every R-rated movie. They're 9
They're
apparently,
9.
and they all do this.
Lawless.
I'm sure they do.
It is.
Yeah.
My daughter looked at me yesterday, and she goes, I need my laundry done. And I said, I didn't say anything. I just looked at her with a smirk on my face, and she said, I mean, I'll do it. So I'll show you how. I'll show you how.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to help out. But
Good job.
I was doing my own laundry when I was like 6 in my house.
Well,
Separate them. Fold them. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Pedro's running a tight ship.
I find it hard to believe that the official Nana of CBD lets you do your laundry like.
We need to bring this up in the first 20 minutes.
For 20 minutes.
Yeah, but Nana wouldn't want me to get into some of the things that happened. The laundry. I used to have to ride my bike like through multiple cities, through bad, not great areas, home from school, like, and other parents found out about, were like, this is crazy, we're driving you. Like, there was some, Nana wouldn't want that. She don't air your grievances. We've moved past all this.
I just tell Nan I blame Pedro for all of it. So I think we all
for
do.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's Pedro.
Is he back in his house yet, or is he still?
No, he's out till I think he gets to go back Saturday. He's just roaming the streets, a nomad, you know.
That's fantastic too.
Pedro and Sue are out there. No, they just keep sending me there. Like, still, they're just going to wineries and having a great time.
Hey,
they're fine. They're fine. He said it is a real intense process, though, to like get your house ready to be fumigated. Like,
yeah, I saw Breaking Bad.
Anything that you keep in there must be like double or triple bagged. He said it's a lot.
Yeah,
I think he'd rather just tear the whole thing down and just rebuild it.
just light a match and
yeah.
That's how you get rid of the termite.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a few questions here. And by a few, I'm up to 4 pages of questions.
Let's go.
Jordan Beckwith tweets at the show at Browns_daily using the hashtag AskCBD. What is the go-to Memorial Day barbecue food? What are you loading up your plates with on Monday? Anyone want to go first?
I mean, I'm hoping ribs. I certainly hope to be eating ribs on Monday. That's right.
I just had this discussion with the blonde last night. Ribs are the easiest food that with the biggest payoff. Because they're so easy to do. They're so easy. It's so simple, and you finish them on the grill. The hardest part is the cleanup.
Do you sous vide your ribs?
No, I haven't. She actually does the ribs. She does a good process.
Okay.
Yeah, she does a good process. They fall off. She cooks them at a low temp for a long time. There's beer involved. They fall off. Then you grill them at the end. They get a crispiness to them. They're spectacular. You could sous vide. They're just so easy.
And
like she said to me, she goes, "Well, we should do hot dog." She goes, "We should do hot dogs and hamburgers." That's much harder. It's much harder, and you don't get the payoff.
No, you're right. You're right.
I am not a big rib guy.
That's a surprise to me.
That's stunning. I mean,
stunning.
Like,
God,
I'll make them. My kids like them.
Like wings and ribs together in the same place, I'm going rib every time.
No, not
me.
me.
That would be like if Gibby just came on and go, "Yeah, I don't like PBR." No, what? Come on.
I love PBR.
Of course he.
Hold
of
on.
course,
But he
PBR
did-
and ribs.
hold
Come
on.
on.
Why can't I think of it? He did something like that with food where he's like, I don't like this. And we're like, but you like this. And it is that.
The
And-
fatty beef.
Yeah.
The fatty beef.
Fat beef. He was worried about the fatty beef, but then he was doing the ground beef,
Yeah.
wasn't he? In the spaghetti or something? I can't remember.
From Who Is This Dummy? That's their Twitter handle. Well done. That's
good job out of him.
pretty great. If you had to suit up for the Browns one drive this season, what position would you be the most help at? This is a Zegura question all the way.
Oh,
this is Zegura's
Can I
burner
say
account.
before Zegura even answers this? Can I just say, as I was watching Building the Browns on DVR, that to see that they needed people to help them scrimmage, and you were not asked, my heart broke. My God, how were you not involved in that?
2 things. 1, it hurt me. I am hurt.
Stunning.
2, the guys they brought in to throw the pill around, we watched them for a little bit. They couldn't throw it through those holes in the net. Like, they were 0 for a session.
Correct.
Like, I could have done that if that's the bar.
You should have been in the mix for that.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I would
You
have had
should
the
been
time
in
of my
mix.
life.
Yep. You would have had the time of your life. And it would have been a great, side content creation.
Totally.
Zegura's day at camp would have been amazing.
It's
and
all
there was
there.
an opportunity.
Missed.
Lost.
Well, we'll bring that up the next time we talk to them. I don't know who's called that is.
So what's the question?
I don't know if that's
What would
AB's
we help the
what
most
position?
with
Yeah.
for one drive?
Yes.
I'm
if
playing
there was
That's the
one
question.
drive.
Holder.
I'm playing
I could
quarterback.
hold. I'm not better than 6. I could hold.
I'm not better than 6 either. But and I'm assuming that means
Feels like
that
that's what you said.
whatever position we're playing, they're out. How else do we get to the point where we're being called onto the field? So that means they are out of this particular position.
You're better than Jarvis?
There's
and
nobody
Case
else.
Keenum?
I want No, Case Keenum's gone. Lauletta's gone. Nobody's available.
I feel like I could hold. That's it. I don't want to do anything else.
I feel like holding would be we haven't done it at the NFL level, like catching it, getting the laces in the right. I feel like that would not be. And then worried about getting your finger kicked off. I don't know that would be easy at all.
I'm worried about breaking
everyone's
the
always
finger
worried
on
about
the
the
snap.
On the snap, yeah. Hewlett throws rockets.
Yeah, you got to. That would be tough. I bet it'd probably take you about 20 before you could catch one. I bet. If Hewlett
This
was
is
going
something
full
this
12.
is again. We have more good content. It's something we should do at training camp. Like, what random job could we even attempt to do on the first time and like have it be a success? Holding, kicking,
And-
punting,
yeah.
throwing a pass, running a route
Yeah.
in slow
and
motion.
It ends the last image in the video is us handing people water.
Yeah, that's where we would thrive.
And then, yeah, you want to create content? We'll create content for you all day long. What
all
do you
day.
need?
Get a T-shirt line after it.
That's right.
Okay,
We could
move
do
on.
like a Dan and Dave with you and I. Remember Dan and Dave? We should do it.
Yes,
we should do a Dan and Dave like tryout for training camp.
Poor Dave.
Sad.
Real quick, a football question from Savvy Gamer.
Real quick, we got tons of time, Gibby.
What are the differences between Anthony Schwartz and Tylan Wallace, who was ranked slightly higher and went a little later in the draft, Zegura?
What am I, Dane Brugler?
That's a Brugler question.
I'll
Wallace
tell you
is the
this.
kid
Here's
out
the
of Oklahoma
first one.
State.
Wallace ran a 4.540. Next.
There you go. Next.
Fair enough. Works for me.
0.3 is a long time, Coach.
At DraftNick1, what are people nibbling on, or what are you nibbling on before your guests arrive for a cookout? I'm all in on veggies and dip. I'm sure you probably double dip too, buddy.
Before a cookout, if I'm like waiting for them, like this is.
I guess so.
Is this part of what they're gonna also be eating?
I guess so.
I mean, I don't know that I do. I mean, if I might have a few habanero barbecue almonds off to the side, maybe. But that's like not being put out, or a jalapeno pipcorn, which is a real crunchy treat. Some chips and guacamole, even. A shrimp cocktail is what I would love to be having, but I'll wait for them. I will share my shrimp cocktail with them.
Yeah, I would say same. It is fun when you're putting those things together to kind of nibble on all of them. And there's no question that I have a tremendous weakness for a cured meat. You get me a charcuterie board, that's going to be I'll mow through that if it's left unencumbered, which is terrible for you, but I'll crush that. I'm a big fan of the dark russet kettle chip with a French onion dip.
Oh,
that's
a
a
good
wonderful.
French onion.
Oh, jeez, come on. And all you got to do with that is there's that beef and onion Lipton soup and just put that in a whole thing of sour cream and done. And it's a huge win every time. That's why we can't have these things around the house. I'd kill them.
Yeah.
There's no chance.
Amen. Greg tweets at the show, I'm going to Monterey soon, and right now it's a good chance to get on Pebble as a single walk-on. If I can't get on, which course in Monterey should I play? Assume I don't get an invitation from Jim Nantz to play Cypress.
I think that the clear answer is Spyglass, right?
That's what I said, Spyglass. I actually responded to that in tweet form to get him working out at Spyglass. Awesome course. Incredible course.
Yeah. Yeah.
First
That's
6
the
holes.
And they've played. Didn't they used to split like when the Pebble Beach Pro Am? Didn't they play like half play Spyglass, half play Pebble?
And then Poppy.
Yeah.
They would do like all three.
I mean, the place is unbelievable. It's an unbelievable spot that has been carved out. Now, the problem with it is, and there's really only one, it's not particularly warm. So if you need it to be 75, you're not going to get that. And the other problem is it's tough to get to. So unless you're Jim Nantz and you say living at Pebble Beach, it's just tough to get there. You got to private in there. You got to connect through everywhere, or you got to live there. And it's a stunning, like one of my favorite places in the world is Big Sur, Carmel. Stunning.
Oh, yeah.
More at Browns_Daily using the hashtag AskCBD. Alex tweets at the show. 1, why doesn't Beau follow Nathan on social media? 2, who on the Browns could catch everyone by surprise this season? I think DPJ, he says.
The reason that I don't follow Nathan on social is because of my incredible ego and my resting jerk face.
That was the only part of the story that was true. Was that ego story where they said, "Yeah, he's not even going to follow you on social. We won't socialize at all outside of here." Maybe
it's amazing how I respond in things that we're both tagged in.
Yeah.
It's amazing that considering I don't follow you, it's wild.
Well, you're tagged in
You
it,
go
so
ahead.
you don't need to follow me.
Who's going to surprise? Oh, that's true. Who's going to surprise? I don't think there's room for much surprises.
I really don't think either. I'll
roster.
say David Njoku on offense and Tack McKinley on defense.
I like it.
Fair enough.
2 first-rounders.
Matt Hulkenborg. Hulkenborg? Sorry, dude,
Sure.
if I screwed that up. I was
Yes,
tasked.
yes, we're not seeing it. We don't see the name.
Nope. I was tasked with planning our honeymoon. So I'm going to seek some advice. Where would you recommend I go on my honeymoon? Thinking an all-inclusive resort, but taking suggestions.
Okay.
So
There's 1,000 follow-ups before you even give a response, but go ahead.
So first this is Zegura personal preference. I'm not an all-inclusive guy. I want to be. I don't want to be stuck at a place for the entirety of my trip, honeymoon or not. Now, my honeymoon was in Croatia, and I think it was the best week of my life. So immediately that would come to the top of my list. I could understand wanting to be in the Caribbean, something like that, or some, beautiful tropical place. But I don't want to go all-inclusive. I want to go and explore, and I want to find a local gem for dinner one night, or go kind of, and just get around and get in the mix. I feel like when you're all-inclusive, I get it. You don't have to leave. It's all taken care of. It's all in the price, all of that. I understand it. I just like to be able to get into a little bit of the culture of wherever that I am.
I've never done it all-inclusive. I haven't wanted to because I feel like I would have an obligation to get my money's worth out of it. And like you, I would be we did Bora Bora on the honeymoon. It was ridiculous. It was great. I think the big thing you'd have to ask yourself is this. Do I want adventure or beach adventure, explore, Europe, or relax? And you can do both in both places, but that's really what you got to get down to is what do you want to do on the vacation? Are you just chill at the beach, go swim with dolphins guy, or are you go see the Sistine Chapel?
Right.
So, that it just depends on what you want. And that's just a totally personal choice.
I have one more question. It's got to be quick, though, because we're up against the clock.
Why? We're having so much fun.
Well, you want to keep doing a show. Knock yourself out. Logan, what is the perfect drink for the holiday weekend?
Gosh. It's an Uncle Stan.
Do you want to think about it and come back with
Daily, tequila in any way, any
the
of
Uncle
its
Stan
forms?
is an incredible cocktail. It's the official drink of summer for me. I'll tell you what. We'll give you a list of a Mount Rushmore coming up on the other side.
Hold on a second.
No, we got to go to break.
No, what?
Why didn't we get the Gibbe question?
I got to go to
What's
break. We're up
Gibbe's
against
greatest moment? I saw that. I was ready for that one all day.
It's not about me.
Next week.
He
The show's
selected
not
it
about
out.
me. Break time.
Next week. Cleveland Browns Daily 850 for Cleveland. Elk and Elk, serious lawyers, serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO today for a free case review. Elk and Elk is a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. I'll give you three right off the gates, and it's the Uncle Stan, which is an añejo tequila on rocks with the lemonade vitamin water, a little salt around the rim. That is delicious and it keeps you hydrated. Dark and Stormy is very, very good. The Caribbean drink with the ginger beer.
Ginger beer, yeah.
Yep, that's very good. I like a bloody beer. A Michelada is very good. I like a beer and lime. That's the Joe Thomas, a beer with a heavy lime squeeze. But all of these are predicated on it being hot, and it's not going to be, so that's
you can still have a nice John Daly. It'll make you feel nice. A little fresh jalapeno muddled into a nice tequila.
I got to have one of those, the jalapeno muddled in
it's
with
the
the
best.
tequila.
I do it. Oh, yeah.
I got to try that.
Well, if you follow me on social, maybe we'll actually be social, and it'd be my pleasure. You bring
Maybe
the
one day we'll have a
transformative
turkey.
I'll bring the tequila.
We're back tomorrow with a special edition. You will enjoy that. Dimitri Felton on, Joel Batonio, that exclusive interview.